47 Weeks, Life and Learnings of a Dietetic Intern. Hey guys, welcome to 47 Weeks. It's week 41, and I did my elective week at Partners for Healthier Weight. It was nice to take the car again and save myself the half-an-hour bike ride each way, getting to internship, and then spending the day a little sweaty. This week I did a lot of independent work at the office. Monday I spent the day reading information about the program and going through their big info binder. It's like this big that they give to the patients, and it's really extensive, and it covers topics from building support systems, being more assertive when you have to say no to certain foods, learning about your eating style, meal planning, your attitude towards food, body image, stress management. It's really extensive and really thorough. That way, hopefully, patients can really take away a lot from the program, even if their weight doesn't change. I also spent some time working on a lit search from home. So I was researching whether there was a certain macronutrient distribution that's more ideal than another for weight loss. I also looked up the glycemic load in turnips for things like potatoes and squash to see if they were appropriate for the menu or if they should not be there. I also read another good book called Craving Change, and it's a little workbook that people can use to differentiate when they're feeling different kinds of hunger and learn about the emotional reasons for eating and try to improve that. One of my other tasks for the week was to research social media as well as create some blog posts. So the Craving Change book that I read, I actually am making a video on ways to nurture yourself without food, which is something that the book talked about. I also did a lot of research on social media and how to be more successful with it and gain more followers and really engage the community. And I read the 71-page booklet that I found on everything from Facebook to YouTube and how to manage and the certain tools you need to analyze the audience. It's actually really complicated. On Wednesday, I also went to the final case study presentations. So there was 5 other interns that presented, and there was half a day gone of my already short 4-day work week. Other than gaining a better understanding of the program and the challenges of obesity management, one of my other goals coming into this rotation was to learn about the different obesity management strategies and potentially ones in different countries, and just to see if there was a best approach. So I looked at some guidelines in Ireland and New Zealand and then in North America, and they all seem to agree that you have to address food, activity, and behavior is the main premise. I also met with Wanda this week, and we went over my QI evaluation, and she gave me an update on the TRIC grant. There was an admit issue with getting a certain signature there to approve it on time. So most likely, Wanda thinks that it would have gotten accepted had it been submitted. But the plan is, in November, to apply for a larger sum of money with the next application deadline. And as soon as that happens, I will still have the research position and coordinate that grant and that study. So it's just a matter of time, and I'm okay with just serving and making some money and studying for the exam until November, and then hopefully carrying on my research with Hearts in Motion from there. It's not like I would be filling anyone's position. They would be making a position for me to do that project, which feels really cool. And I love the fact that I would be involved in research and heart disease and making videos and still working in a clinical and community setting. It's just perfect. The fingers still crossed. Because the week was so short, I didn't get a chance to see any of their patients or go to any of their classes in the program. So I'm going to try that in the next upcoming weeks and get the whole experience. Canada Day, our building had a barbecue in the common room downstairs, and there was free burgers and hot dogs. So we went down and met a couple of our neighbors. And I worked Friday and Saturday night, and I watched the fireworks from my work. And Saturday day, we spent pretty much the whole day filming the blog for Partners for Healthier Weight, as well as 47 weeks. As internship was winding down, I really feel like I'm gaining a lot more energy to exercise more again and actually cook more, which I haven't felt the enthusiasm since getting into probably 4th year of university. So it's really nice to not have homework anymore. My learnings for the week include, what we get taught is that most people on average need 2,000 calories to maintain their weight, but in reality, with this program, you see some people start to gain weight on 1,800 calories and that they permanently need to eat 1,200 calories in order to maintain their weight, which is really unfair. Another major learning is that although most people expect Partners for Healthier Weight to result in weight loss, somebody that gets to a normal BMI is usually the exception and not the norm. The norm is you might maintain your weight and lead a healthier lifestyle. Obesity is just so complex. I also learned that there is no ideal macronutrient distribution for weight loss. Some can eat more carbs, more fat, more protein, but in the end, it's just about maintaining it and portion sizes, I believe. And this was seen across guidelines from New Zealand, Ireland, and at least 2 studies from 2016 that both had the same results. The maximum amount of weight loss that happens in a lifestyle change is usually in the first 20 to 24 weeks. That's a fun fact. I learned that when you bake potatoes, it results in the highest glycemic index, and that goes for sweet potatoes as well. So the best way to eat potatoes is to boil them and then cool them. The glycemic index could be as low as 8 compared to 33 when you bake them. Or other good ways to eat them are microwaving them or steaming them. I learned that turnips are also called rutabagas. Lastly, I learned that Partners for Healthier Weight, despite the program costing over $3,000, it doesn't make money. So they really need a lot of volunteers to help with research, social media, and looking at data to see what their results have been over the last 5 years. My preceptor is getting a book released in August, which is about cooking for students, and she was showing me some of the things that her publisher and her had been working on and some of the feedback she got from her editor. And it's really fascinating the amount of work it takes to go into publishing a book. And you know, the editor knows all about cookbooks and which word to use for this instead of for this recipe, in this recipe, and which ingredient to go above this one, and how to word this sentence which says the same thing as that one. So it's crazy. My plans for next week include Skylar's surgery on Monday. I am the designated driver and the caregiver for the day. Hopefully there are no complications with his lipoma. Then on Tuesday I start my project week, and Lindsay and I are both going to be working on looking at some of the supplements that aren't thickening the same way that others are and the way that they need to be safe for swallowing. Then after that I have 2 weeks of staff relief for the management room service model project. So it feels like I have 3 project weeks coming up. And sometime in the future, I'm definitely filming a promo video for Krista, my preceptor at Partners for Healthier Weight, to promote her book and do an episode about obesity or perhaps another topic. So that's going to be fun. That's all we have for week 41. Thanks for watching, and remember, sustain your body, sustain your life.